Right, welcome ladies and gents. Let's talk the finale of Lord of the Rings of Power. This will be full spoilers. We're just going to be talking about it. Bit of a relaxed discussion piece video. Can't show you any footage because, of course, Amazon loves a copyright claim, especially for this, because they are very protective of their billion-dollar investment, even though it's poo. This was an awful finale. Just awful for a few reasons. One, it looks desperately cheap. You know, you've got the Harfoots with dirt, twigs and acorns in their hair. It just looks cheap, nasty. The set piece where the stranger versus the knockoff Nazgul. That's right, we gender swapped the Nazgul. I think they're the sisters of Morgoth or something like that. Basically, like dark side followers from the east that come across. They're sort of cultists, but they get that whole set piece was cheap as hell. And when not Gandalf, but definitely Gandalf obliterated them, they were literally Nazgul. Complete. One of them had a crown as well. You know, the real Slim Shady one. I'll overlay pictures if I can. I mean, what the flying toss was that? Just epically cheap and tacky and terrible and not very good. Bitterly disappointing as a show. Bitterly disappointing. Oh, Sauron? Guess who's Sauron? I bet you couldn't guess. Did you guess Halbrand? Oh, you guessed right. Of course it was Halbrand. Because they didn't telegraph that enough. The person that literally is the linchpin of the potential downfall of all of Middle-earth is Galadriel. She helps save Halbrand. Halbrand saves her. She saves Halbrand. She ushers him into the Southlands. Helps him defeat his own enemy. Just fucking Jesus. Oh, it was so bad. Halbrand pushes Galadriel into some weird dream sequence where she literally uses the same dialogue from Cate Blanchett, you know, in Peter Jackson's trilogy, which I think is taken from, you know, original Tolkien. But here, it's just member berries. It's, do you remember what was said before? We're going to say it now. Ha ha ha. God, it was bad. It was painfully bad. Painfully bad. Now the first Hobbit isn't Bilbo. No, the first Hobbit to go on an adventure with Gandalf is Brandy Bottom, whatever her name is. I literally can't even remember her name. Brandyfoot. Nori Brandyfoot. Brandy Bottom Foot. I don't even know. Whatever her bloody name is. That stupid little Harfoot girl. She's the first one to go on an adventure with Gandalf. Now, they don't out and out state it's Gandalf. But it seems pretty obviously to be Gandalf. Pretty obviously. Now, it might not be. And if it's not, that's a good thing. Because they weren't there in that age, that time period. Even though they've butchered the time period anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But they've also made it a weird vendetta now, because Halbrand, being Sauron, you have Isildur, who is going to go up against them eventually and cut off his hand. And it's like, well, they were standing side by side together at one point. Do you see how just ridiculous this show actually is? The rings! Oh my god. The cheapest, shittest looking rings. They spent $1 billion on this, guys. That looks like costume jewellery. $1 billion. Who signed off on this? Who? Words are actually beyond me. I cannot fathom the stupidity of the people signing this off and going, yeah, that's great, we love this. Definitely, the dailies are solid. We love the dailies. Oh, goodness me. Goodness me. How did Halbrand miraculously teleport at the end to Mordor, looking at Mount Doom? Why, Galadriel? Why did you pursue the 3 Rings of Power? You should have cancelled it there and then. Why should you have done that? Well, because obviously, you know now that there was a reason why Sauron wanted you to make the rings, but you made them anyway. Oh, we won't make 2. We'll make 3. Why? What's the difference? Oh, well, you know, one will keep balance. Legitimately ridiculous show. From start to finish. From start to finish, it has been ridiculous. And you know what? I think what is most egregious about this show is that it would have been a bit better if they'd chosen better actors. But you did choose really bad actors. So even like a bad show can be carried on the backs of, you know, good, strong acting. But this is just atrocious. Just atrocious. Female Nazgul? Why? Why did you do that? Why? And why are you trying to show that these 3 women are almost as strong as Gandalf? Well, technically, actually, they thought that they could go up against Sauron. That's actually what they thought. So that's a massive error, surely. They thought that they could go up against Sauron. How? How? Ugh. It's just, it's cheap, it's tacky, it's everything wrong, and it's very predictable as well, FYI. It's everything wrong with modern interpretations of stuff. Galadriel literally learns nothing. So our strong Whammon female lead learns nothing all show. She doesn't go on a character arc. What's the character arc? That she shouldn't have done what she did? But that's not the lesson she learns at the end, because she's got the Rings of Power. And she's the literal reason. And she lies to her friends. Because Elrond finds the family lineage of the King of the Southlands. Halbrand's not on it, coincidentally, because the lineage died out ages ago, like 1,000 years ago. So I look at that and I'm like, well, so you lied to your friend. You've got the Rings of Power. Almost seems quite nefarious of you, actually. Almost like you've been, you know, corrupted by evil. Because you're just lying to everyone. She learns nothing. All season, all show, she learns utterly nothing. She's literally the reason Sauron has power again now. And has a land to live within. So, what do we learn? Galadriel, nothing? Nothing. That's right. No, you're going to be stronger than before, because you're now going to have a Ring of Power. Which looks like some cheap magician's butt plug. Fuck this show. I can't get over the female Nazgul. I can't get over that. Just ridiculous. All of this was ridiculous. Absolute. What a joke. What a joke of a series. $1 billion, ladies and gents. Wow. Wow. Can you imagine having $1 billion and paying for this? You'd cry yourself into oblivion, wouldn't you? You would absolutely cry yourself into oblivion. Now again, it might not be Gandalf. I'm hazarding a guess it probably is. And even if it's Saruman, it shouldn't be Saruman either. None of those wizards were in Middle-earth at this age. But they've messed up the timeline anyway, so I guess they just don't really care. They've just completely messed everything up. And they're like, oh, there's going to be some surprises. What surprises? Everyone was thinking Halbrand was going to be Sauron. You start watching the show, you're like, well, it's probably him then, isn't it? Not Sauron is Sauron. Goodness me, what a dumpster fire.